Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center Grove Sports Show here at Campbell's Highland Grill. Kevin Conrad, your host. Tonight on the show, it's all about the Center Grove girls cross-country team. And here in our first segment, the head coach, Wes Dotson, joins us. And, Coach, first of all, thanks for taking time to be on the show. And that's the girls here with us tonight. Boy, what a fabulous season for you guys this year.
Yeah, I was really pleased. We returned quite a few runners this year, but we had lost two of our varsity girls. So to come out and win the sectional in the county, that was really, really great. Those are some of our main goals every year, and being able to accomplish that was a really good start for our team this year.
Coach, let's start with your senior class. Maybe just tell us who your seniors were this year and your top performers.
Sure. We had 6 seniors, 5/6 seniors actually this year. Kind of weird. We have one young lady that was graduating in 3 years, so we considered her a senior, I guess. Her name's Audra Martin. And then we were led 4 of our 10 races by Gabrielle Harrell, which is Coach Harrell's daughter. One of his 3, and she made all county and all sectional and all regional. I can talk about that in a second. And then we have Marielle Harrell, one of the other triplets. She ran varsity all year. Gabby Ellis was a senior. Allie Conkin was a senior, and she was one of our captains. She didn't run varsity, but she was still a great leader on our team. And then our last senior is Samantha Rasmussen, who ran varsity for us all year. Kind of the funny thing about Sam is she was possibly going to take the SAT the day of the county and the ACT on the sectional, and I said, Sam, you cannot do that. If you don't run for us, we may lose. And since we ended up winning by 1, I was right, and I was sure glad that Sam decided to move her SAT to a different day. So.
Coach, it sounds like with your team this year, like you said, sectional champs, you were county champs, runner-up in the regional, 4th in the MIC. You pretty much got every place that you thought you were going to. It sounds like you guys pretty much peaked out on all these different meets.
Yeah, the funny thing about cross-country is you kind of have a really good idea of what's a possible goal and what's not, just based on everyone else's times. You can't play defense. So if they have 2 girls that can run 18:30 and we don't, then we know that unless they really choke, then we're not going to beat that team. So we had pretty much narrowed it down to a conference 4th or 5th that we were hoping to get, and we actually ended up beating Lawrence North really bad to get 4th place. The sectional we knew was going to be super tight between us, Franklin, and Whiteland. And in the sectional, we actually won handily. I remember the Whiteland coach came up to me after the race and said, I think you got us this time. And he said, what do you think, by like 3 or 4? And I was like, Jerry Emerson's the Whiteland coach. I said, Jerry, actually, I think we got you really bad today. And and then scores came out, and that's what happened. But the week before, we had beat them by 1 single point, and that's just one of their girls beating one of our girls, and vice versa. So 1 point is nothing. So that was an exciting day, also a nerve-wracking day. But
maybe talk about how important it is to have depth with your cross-country team, because injuries can occur. Oh, yeah. SAT scores, things of that nature, tests come up, and you got things that happen throughout the season.
It's so important to have depth. Honestly, it's great if you have like 10 girls that are really possibly going to be varsity runners, just because could anything, as well as like people being injured before the race. Just maybe one of your girls has a bad day, and if you count the first 5 and one of them just goes down, if your 6 runners way back, then it's not going to be a good day. In fact, Cathedral, who was really supposed to make the state meet this year, they lost one of their top 5 runners the week of the semi-state, and they were pretty much a lock to make the state meet, and that girl wasn't able to run in semi-state, and they didn't get out because they had no depth. So it's an absolutely enormous big deal to have 7, 8, 9, 10 girls that can really go.
Coach, now that you go into the off season, maybe just a preview of the spring. I know a lot of these girls are probably competing track, and it never stops, I'm sure.
No, it
and
definitely
in the
never
summer,
stops.
and of course back into the season next year. Maybe give us a preview of the next few months.
Sure. The thing about cross country is running, and the only way to get better at running is to be doing more running. So we actually started last week. It's funny. I mean, the football team is still in their current season, and we're already in the getting ready for the next season. So it's for right now and for the next couple weeks, we just get out and run and start building a base. And then actually in this December, I mean, it's so nice to have the sack. We can start doing workouts in the big sack and go get it and start getting ready to go. These girls will all run the 4x8 and the mile and the 2 mile and the 800 for us once the track season comes around. And then they obviously start back into. We take 2 weeks off between each season, and where there's just no running, and you kind of the way some people in books say is just get that like desire to run again because you're tired and you just need a break. And then once we get back into it, we take 2 weeks and we start going and see where we can get to. So.
Coach, I know you guys work out very closely with Coach Harrell and the boys team. Maybe a word or two about what they accomplished this year. I know you were so proud of them being sectional champs and making it all the way to the state finals for the first time.
Absolutely. I've been coaching with Coach Harrell for 20 years. I was Coach Harrell's assistant my very first year, and then I became the girls' coach after that. So I've worked with Coach Harrell forever, and we talk about workouts all the time, and what we think was the best and how to improve. And we work in the summer together. All our summer workouts are together. All our practices are together. All our meets are together. A lot of teams actually split, and like boys will go to one meet and girls go to the other, and we like being together and cheering each other on. So I was so excited to watch the boys make the state meet. I talk to all these kids in school, and we spend so much time together. We go to camp together. We go to Bedford and go to cross-country camp, and we spend all that time together. So to see them make it to the state meet for the first time was really, really great. I was probably just as excited as Coach Harrell. So I was super anticipating that weight race, and I was running around with one of the assistants during the race, and we knew that they were going to make it. We ran so well in the semi-state. Halfway through, I told Coach Stewart, I was like, dude, we're in. This is over. So that was a pretty exciting day. It would have been nice if the day had been a little nicer, though. That was one sloppy, cold, miserable day. But the end result was worth it.
Well, Coach Dotson, thanks a lot for joining us on the show.
It.
Really appreciate it. Bringing your team in, and all the best with the offseason. Good luck next year.
Hey, thanks a lot. We've got a lot of girls coming back, and I think we'll be really competitive. So.
All right, we'll have more of the show after this timeout.
Welcome to Campbell's Highland Grill.
Campbell's Highland Grill, a family-owned Scottish-American sports grill in Greenwood. Dig into appetizing American food that you'll love, as well as traditional Scottish fare. Family-friendly and great specials, too. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. Enjoy our tasty breakfast on the weekend, and free Sundays on Sunday.
The best thing to eat on the menu is the Berkeley Turkey Club. No way, the best thing on the menu is Bowman BLT.
Campbell's Highland Grill in Greenwood.
Don't forget to top it off with Bellamy's bread pudding. Mmm.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Center Grove Sports Show here at Campbell's Highland Grill. Kevin Conrad, your host. On our show tonight, we're talking about the Center Grove girls cross-country team. They had another fabulous season this past fall. And with us in this segment, we have a senior runner and also a freshman runner. We'll first talk to our senior runner, and Sam Rasmussen. And Sam, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Well, tell me about your senior year. How did it go for you?
It went really well. It was nice being able to stick with the same people I've been around for the past 3 years, because I started my sophomore year with cross country. So just being able to stick with those same girls and grow with them and just finish off the season strong with all of them was really nice.
Sounds like you had some really good chemistry and a really good core of runners the last several years.
Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah, all of them are basically my best friends, so I've kept them around throughout track season and cross country. So it's really nice to have that support throughout every season.
In talking to Coach Dotson, he felt like you guys really excelled. You did as well as you could in about every single meet this year. You guys were able to stay healthy for the most part this year, as sometimes you expect a few injuries along the way. But maybe just talk about meeting expectations this year.
Yeah, so of course, we always have injuries, which is always not what we want, obviously. But we always usually are able to overcome those, and usually there's girls that'll step up and take like the leaders' places if they do get injured. So it's really nice to like see everyone just come together and be able to like compete like at a high level still, even like with unexpected variables.
So this past year, sectional champs, county champs, runner-up, I believe he said, in the regional this year. So you accomplished a lot this year. What sticks out to you the most? What's the big highlight for you this past year?
Well, the biggest highlight was our county and sectional races. In county, we only won by 1 point, and I didn't really beat the girls I wanted to beat, which were Greenwood and Whiteland. So I still made all county. I ended up being able to, and I got 12th in that race. And then during the sectional race the next week, I beat all the girls that I would have hopefully in the county race, and I got 12th even with more competition. So it was nice being able to just like succeed more, I guess, in the second week.
And Coach said that you had to postpone that SAT score, or the test, I should
Yes.
say, to run because he really needed you to run on Saturday. And he said you guys won, I know, the one meet by 1 point.
Yeah. So I had already taken the SAT twice before, so I already had my scores and like everything I needed to like get into college and stuff. So like the one I would have taken October 5th would have been like just for scholarships and stuff. But I ended up being able to postpone that in order to run because I just thought being there for my team was more important. And
Sam, talk about what's coming up this spring for you. Of course, you got track, and then you got graduation.
Yeah.
And tell us about track season and beyond Center Grove, what your plans are.
So for track season, I'm just really excited to see what I'm going to be able to do because I compete in the 1600 and then the 3200 race. So I'm just excited to hopefully get PRs in that race and see what I can do. And I'm really excited for graduation. And afterwards, I'm not really sure what I'm wanting to do yet. I've narrowed down like my college choices to IU and Trinity University, which is down in Texas. And I'm hoping to study computer science.
Well, Sam, thanks for being on the show. Great senior year. All the best to you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Next up, we'll talk to freshman Haley Hall. And Haley, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, tell me about your first year with the Center Grove Trojans. You got to run junior varsity this year. So tell me about your year.
At the beginning of the year, I had an injury, so I didn't run, I think, the first, 4 meets. But when I came back, I think my first meet was actually, more faster than what we thought it was going to be, so it was a pretty good race to have. And then at the end of the season, I ended up PRing, so it was really good. I actually moved schools to Center Grove this year, so this was my first year ever at Center Grove, and this team really welcomed me. And we had a few other girls that are new to this school this year, and we all kind of just clicked right away, and it was really fun to get to know all of them.
So what did you find out going from the middle school ranks to the high school ranks? Just talk about the quality of talent that you're competing against.
So I think at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh my gosh, 3 miles, that's insane. We used to run a 3K, and now we run a 5K, so I think I always thought it's going to be way harder. But the practices you kind of got used to the distance, so it wasn't dying every single practice like I thought I would be. But the competition is a lot harder because I used to just have 2 different grade levels, and now I have 4, and people who are a lot more advanced than me, so it was difficult getting used to it, but I think I got a pretty good hang of it once I got into it.
Maybe talk about Sam and some of the other seniors as far as bringing you into the team and showing you the ropes, so to speak, and really pushing you to be better.
So I think the seniors really helped me through this. Gabrielle, Sam, and Mariel always would always push me, and they ended up giving out notes at the end of the year, which all of the notes were really nice, and they're so, I don't know how to say it, but they're all so sweet, and they all just want the best for everyone. So it's really nice to be in that kind of environment. No matter if you're having a bad day or a rough day, they're always there for everyone, and I think that's just the best kind of personality trait to have. So I really enjoyed that with them.
So now that you're in the off season, Coach tells me you guys started your off season training last week. and you're getting ready now for, do you run track for Center
Yeah.
Grove? So you're going to run track. But maybe talk about what's up next for you as far as what you want to work on.
So I don't really know what I'm going to run in track as it is my first year of high school, but I'm kind of hoping to run the relays because that's what I ran in middle school. So I think that I just need to start working on some speed instead of distance. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. But the off-season training, I haven't been to one yet because I've been busy, but I will be going the rest of them. But I think it's going to be really fun and a really good way to keep up our endurance and keep us working. So,
Haley, thank you for being on the show. All the best with your off season and next year.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Sam. We'll have more of the show after this timeout.
Welcome to Campbell's Highland Grill.
Campbell's Highland Grill, a family-owned Scottish-American sports grill in Greenwood. Dig into appetizing American food that you'll love, as well as traditional Scottish fare. Family-friendly and great specials, too. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. Enjoy our tasty breakfast on the weekend, and free Sundays on Sunday.
The best thing to eat on the menu is the Berkeley Turkey Club. No way, the best thing on the menu is Bowman BLT.
Campbell's Highland Grill in Greenwood.
Don't forget to top it off with Bellamy's bread pudding. Mmm.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Center Grove Sports Show here at Campbell's Highland Grill. Kevin Conrad, your host. Here in our final segment, we're visiting with the Center Grove girls cross country team, and we've got a couple of the Harrell sisters with us. They're both seniors, and we'll first start with Marielle Harrell. And Marielle, just maybe tell us about your senior year. How did it go for you this year?
Well, my senior year went great this year. It's been my best year for cross country. I've been running in like the 22 range, so I think that's good for me. And yeah.
When you reflect back on your 4 years, what are you going to remember most about running for Center Grove and with Coach Dotson and this great team?
I guess I'll just basically remember all the girls because they're so supportive and they're all so kind and I love them.
Maybe talk about your and yeah, for you as well, how you progressed over the 4 years, all the way to your senior year, and how you developed in your own running.
From freshman year, I've been running on JV, but I've slowly been running varsity races, and this year I've been running all varsity, so I'm proud of that.
And then this year, you guys were sectional champs, county champs, regional runner-ups, so close. You guys had a really good, solid season this year. Maybe you talk about the county and the sectional championship.
County, that was pretty tough for me because that was my first time running on the Franklin course the entire year. So I kind of forgot where it was going to be hard and stuff. And it was hard pushing myself through it, but I finished in a good time. It was my best time that season, so.
Maybe talk about bringing along the younger runners, how important that is. Here you are in your senior year, trying to be a good mentor and maybe show them the way to do things. Maybe talk about the leadership that you try to provide for the younger runners this year.
Well, we do warm-ups, so I try to encourage the girls to stretch so they won't get injured. And when we're running, when I always run past them or see them struggling, I always say, "Good job, keep it up."
Coming up this spring, got track, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me about your track season.
Track, I'm really looking forward to it. And
What events do you run in track?
I run the mile and the 2 mile mostly. Sometimes the 800 if Dotson needs me.
Sure. Wherever coach needs you, right?
Yeah.
How about once you graduate from Center Grove High School, some future plans? I know you may be not completely decided, but what do you hope to do after Center Grove?
Well, I hope to obviously get into college and hopefully join a running camp or a running team, depending on the college that I choose to go to.
Marielle, thank you for being on the show. Great senior year. All the best to you in the track season and once you graduate from Center Grove High School.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll talk to Gabrielle Harrell, another senior with the girls cross-country team this year. And Gabrielle, tell me about your senior year. How'd it go for you?
My senior year wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was very solid. I got all county, all section, all regional, which was one of my goals. I mainly throughout the year I kind of just focused on maintaining like a good pace and then being able to push myself in each practice since I knew it was my last season.
Sounds like you got accomplished everything you wanted to this senior year. Talking to Coach Dotson, he felt like you guys excelled. You kind of met expectations in all the different meets this year, and that's not always easy to do, but maybe talk about how you're able to do that as a team.
As a team, like even in practice, we like work together, so running next to each other, so we know our strengths and weaknesses. So running next to somebody, it's really easy to push each other, especially like up hills if that's my strength, and then down hills if that's another person's strength.
Now, what when you look back, your 4 years, maybe talk about some of the highlights for you.
My highlights are definitely like how much I've improved, not only as an athlete but as a person. I'm a freshman year. I was very, very quiet. So looking up to girls such as Val and Rachel, it really helped me push along to improve my time and as a person in general.
So when you look back, when you were a freshman, you had those mentors helping you. Maybe talk about what you tried to do as a senior to be a mentor to the younger runners.
I kind of just tried to be the sweetest person I could, like taking them underneath my wing, being the older sister for them, telling them that like they can do it. It's really hard, but they can push through.
Now you're going to run track this spring?
Yes, definitely.
And what events do you run?
Anything Coach Dotson needs me in, so 4x8, 16, 32, basically anything.
Sure. What kind of goals have you set for yourself for this spring?
Just to have fun, especially since it's my last track season. I'd love to get a PR and stuff, and then hopefully continue and push each other. So.
Now, once you graduate in the spring from Center Grove High School, what's next for you?
I'm signed to run at the University of Indianapolis for running. So.
Cross country?
Yes, and track.
And track. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap up our show today?
I mean, I've loved these past 4 years running, especially with Coach Dotson. He's unbelievably supportive and loving, especially outside the classroom. Whenever I need him, I can always go to his room. And then the girls are so supportive, literally in everything I do. So I love it.
Maybe one final note. Of course, your dad, Coach Harrell, what a great season they had this year.
Yes.
You guys are so close with the boys program. I know you guys were probably super excited that they made it to state this year. Maybe a comment or two about that.
Oh yeah, we were so excited. Semi-state, it was all running in the rain, and then knowing that they made it, it was exhilarating, and then it just made the day even better. And then we all went and supported at state, so it was so exciting.
Well, thank you for being on the show, both of you. All the best to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that wraps up our show from Campbell's Highland Grill. Until next time, this is Kevin Conrad saying so long, everyone.